Hello everyone and welcome to All Things Watched. In this video we are going to talk about the brand new Netflix original movie Wingwomen. Now this I believe was a French movie done in France and mainly stars Melanie Laurent, Isabelle Adjani, Adele, except I'm not even going to attempt her last name, and Manon Brissette. And essentially this movie is it really put me a lot of mind into something like Charlie's Angels, where it mainly follows two characters, Alex and Carol, who are basically these assassins for hire, and they are hired by a woman known as Moraine, and she is sort of like the boss, so she would sort of take the place of Charlie. Now there is a third character that ends up coming in a little ways into the movie. I won't go as far as saying it's not halfways, but she does be a little late joining the crew, and her name is Sam. But she is a really cool character as well. So like I said, essentially the whole story is about those three characters who are basically like these assassins who do these jobs for Moraine. Now essentially one of these characters pretty early on in the movie ends up finding out that they are actually pregnant, and so they decide that they want out. But of course Moraine, being this high level person with all these resources and, while having access to being able to hire these people and hire these assassins to do jobs. I shouldn't go as far as saying assassins. They're not really assassins. They're more like special ops types people. Like, they're just really good at doing, like heists, like stealing and that kind of stuff. And so she has the ability to hire these people. So walking away from that type of life might not be as easy as they want, or it might not be as easy as they think. And that generally is the whole movie. And that's basically what the entire story is about. It's about those three basically wanting to walk away from this type of life and really just live a more honest life, because one of them is pregnant, and of course they don't want to, they don't want to have to live like this forever. They want stability, and they want to be able to raise that child in a normal life with a normal upbringing. Now, in terms of character development and even story for that matter, I would say that this story really lacks. There's not really a big enough story, or I should say not enough compelling of a story to really, really make you go, oh wow, this was the greatest movie you ever seen. And even in terms of character development, I would go as far as saying, even the characters were not really developed in all that great of a way. But I will say that the characters were interesting. So even though I didn't really emotionally care for any of these characters, I was still interested in the characters, in the sense, like, I was still rooting for them, but not on an emotional level. Like, if one of them died, or if something, were to happen to one of them, I didn't really care. I wasn't emotionally invested in them, but I did think that they were interesting, and I really liked their dynamic on screen as well. I really liked how the actors played off of each other, and I really think that they all did just a phenomenal job with their portrayals. I thought the action was pretty good when the action was there, so I thought the opening of the movie was done very well, and even the third act, when we get to sort of that final sequence, something does happen at the end of the movie that I was not expecting, so that was kind of cool. So it was almost like they sort of pull the rug out from under your feet. So I did appreciate that. It did end in a way that I was not expecting, especially when something happens to a certain character that I really was not expecting. So actually they kind of pulled the rug out from underneath you twice, so I could really appreciate the ending and really appreciate them really taking a chance. And for me, it landed. So I did really like the ending, and I really liked the opening, but there's a lot of stuff that sort of doesn't happen in the middle of the movie. There's a little bit of action sprinkled throughout the middle of the movie, but I would say majority of the action is in the beginning and the end. There were a few scenes that I thought were a little bit too unrealistic, even within the world that it built around itself. I thought it was a little bit unrealistic, but I will say that the choreography of the show was done very well as well. Especially there's one scene where the character Alex ends up having to fight, a full-grown man, and she's, a woman, and I really thought that they did a really good job with her fighting and that choreography for that fight, and how she sort of is able to take on this person who's much bigger than she is. I thought it was very clever. She was very smart with using and utilizing her environment, so that was really cool. That was really fun, and it was also really cool seeing how each member of the team played a very different role. The three of them really did need to work together in order to get the job done. They played three very different roles. One was sort of like a getaway, one was sort of like a sniper, and one was sort of like almost like a tech tech type person, or very hands-on, so to speak. And so the three of them, how the team worked, their dynamic and their chemistry as a team, but also the actors themselves, they did a really good job at really bringing these characters to life. Like I said, I never felt emotionally attached to them, but I was interested in them. I did think that they were interesting characters. So overall, if I had to put a number on Wingwoman, I'd probably give this one, like, I don't know, maybe like a 55 or maybe even 60%, because I did like it still a lot more than what I didn't. The biggest flaw is that I kind of wish they went a little bit further with character development, or I kind of wish they went a little bit further with the action, but I still liked it enough to be able to say that, still liked it enough to be able to give it, like, a 55 or 60%, because I did still like it more than what I didn't. So anyways, folks, that's my review of Wingwoman. Let me know in the comment section below if you've seen it, and if you liked it, tell me why or why not. If you like this video, click that subscribe button, and until the next one, take care.